Once again, Hindustan, Bharat, India are in the coinage. What does it mean? आखिर नाम में क्या रखा है? Shakespeare said, what's there in the name? But it looks like the hummings, the buzz that we are seeing, there's a lot in the name. The Republic of India has two principal short names, each of which is historically significant, India and Bharat. A third name, Hindustan, is sometimes an alternative name for the region comprising most of the modern Indian states of the Indian subcontinent when Indians speak amongst themselves. The usage of Bharat, Hindustan or India depends on the context and the language of conversation. Now look at this. Bharat, the name for India in several Indian languages, is derived from King Dushyant's son Bharat. At first, the name Bharat referred only to the western part of the Gangetic Valley, but was later more broadly applied to the Indian subcontinent, and the region of Greater India as well was named India. Now, the name India is originally derived from the name of the river Sindhu, which is Indus, India, and has been in the use in the Greece since Herodotus, 5th century BC. The term appeared in Old English as early as 9th century and re-emerged in modern English in the 17th century. Now, Hindustan is the third name of the Republic of India. This name was popular during Mughal rule. Hindu term was given by the Persians for the people living around the Sindhu River, Indus River once again. Marathas also used to call it the land of Hindus. The word Hindustan is also used in Sare Jahan Se Acha, the patriotic Urdu poem written by Allama Iqbal. So all these things put together, if you take a look at it, are faces of the same coin. What should be the name of the country? It's not just a topic of debate or discussion. In fact, the same question echoed in the chambers of the Constituent Assembly back in 1949. In this show, we bring you the excerpts, the debate that happened in the September of 1949, that riveting piece of communication that happened to and fro, what should be the name, whether it should be India, whether it should be Bharat or both, Jambudweep, and going back into the history, the genesis of the name, all those things were discussed threadbare by the then Constituent Assembly members, and they were the founding fathers of the New India's, the independent India's constitution also. So before that also, if we take a look at the debate that is ongoing now, why the hullabaloo? Why the situation when, there are political ramifications of choosing a particular name? Well, that also suggests something that the effort, the history, the kind of pointers, the kind of reasoning that was given to give India the name Bharat or India, that is also something pretty interesting. Mohan Bhagwat, a few days ago, the RSS chief, mentioned about usage of the name Bharat now onwards. Let's listen in.
हम सब लोग इंडिया शब्द का उपयोग करना छोड़ दें और भारत शब्द का उपयोग करना प्रारंभ करें। कभी कभी अंग्रेजी जानने वालों के सामने हमको बोलना पड़ता है, तो भाषा के प्रवाह में ही इंडिया आ जाता है, क्योंकि उनको समझना चाहिए, कोई जरूरत नहीं है। जो विशेष नाम होते हैं उसका भाषांतर नहीं किया जाता, दुनिया में कहीं नहीं करते। ऐसे हमारा भारत देश है, सदियों से उसका नाम है, जो असतो मा सद्गमय, तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय, मृत्योर्मा अमृतम गमय की यात्रा करता है, तेज की तरफ जाता है, प्रकाश में रत रहता है, ज्ञान में रत रहता है, वो हमारा देश है। उसका नाम भारत है, तो दुनिया में कहीं भी जाएगा तो वो भारत ही रहना चाहिए। तो हम बोलने में, लिखने में सर्वत्र भारत कहे। किसी को समझने में नहीं आया, चिंता न करे, उसको जरूरत है तो वो समझ लेगा। हमको जरूरत नहीं है सबको समझाने की, हम अपने आप में समर्थ है, स्वतंत्र है। आज दुनिया को हमारी जरूरत है। बिना दुनिया हम चल सकते हैं, दुनिया हमारे बिना नहीं चल सकती.
So there you heard it. The RSS chief Mohan Bhagwat also mentioning that आने वाले समय में, आने वाले टाइम में हमें भारत का इस्तेमाल संबोधन भारत से करना है. This is something that has become pretty clear now, especially if you take a look at the invitation that has been sent out to the dignitaries who are attending the G20 summit. But today we will go back in time. We will go back not the pre-colonial era, but 1949. Exactly 74, 75 years ago, when India had got freedom in 1947, and the Constituent Assembly was mulling on the Constitution of India. B.R. Ambedkar was leading that team. Well, Manashwi Thapar is joining us on the broadcast. Noted lawyer there. Manashwi, always a pleasure to speak to you, always a pleasure to learn from you. I was going through, the 1949 transcript of the exchanges that happened in the Constituent Assembly, the September of 1949. First of all, I was, happily surprised to look at the language, the way they would disagree, the way they would counter each one's point. There were so many aspects, Manasvi, at that time, which clearly show that a lot of thought was given as far as the naming of the country. किसे पहले आना चाहिए, भारत पहले होगा या इंडिया पहले होगा, इंडिया पहले होगा या भारत होगा, ब्रिटिश का कितना इन्फ्लुएंस है. All those aspects were kept in mind. Looking at that era, Manasvi, I'm sure in the law schools also this is being taught as a lesson, maybe apart from the speech that Jawaharlal Nehru gave on the eve of independence. How do you see this, this aspect of Indian constitution, this aspect of Indian polity, and later on we delve deep?
See, this particular name changing thing or name discussion thing, this is a debate which is not at all required. India has two names, India and Bharat. Bharat has another name, which is India. And that is how we all know about it. India, which is Bharat, Bharat, what is India? That is what we know about it. But this debate does not have any depth out of it. It is just a political debate. It's a very good politically optical debate of creating India versus Bharat. There cannot be any India versus Bharat. There is a name. There is a brand name, there is a global understanding of what Bharat or India is all about, and we are known as Indians. We would not be known as any other name. So this is basically a debate just to have, since there is a bloc alliance known as India, to counter that a political party, BJP, which is a very strong party, has the numbers. They want to have a discourse out of it. But this discourse, does it contain any kind of depth? Does it contain any kind of a constitutional mandate? Does it contain any kind of name changer? That is not going to happen. India was a strong country. India is very strong. The future is of India. That cannot be changed, or by changing the name or creating a bigger brand name of Bharat and diluting India's name, we will not get a bigger brand value as a global acumen value of our country. We are a strong country because of our Indians, our citizens of this nation, the great citizens of this nation. So this is just a politically optical discussion wise, because this will not contain any kind of depth out of it. This will have a debate out of it. कौन सा नाम बेटर है? नाम का बेटर कोई ये बच्चा थोड़ी पैदा हो रहा है जिसका नाम आपको ग्रहों के हिसाब से करना है. ये तो देश है. And after 75 years of independence, you want to go back to 1949 and have a discussion on names. What did our ancestors did? They did their job. They were there. The job was given to them कि नाम क्या रखना है. The name would be India or Bharat, and we had a very good debate. We had debate for hours and hours and days कि हमारा नाम क्या, why, how would a new country would be named. A new country was formed, named as Pakistan. उन्होंने decide किया वो पाकिस्तान रहेंगे. एक आधे part को East Pakistan कहा, and we decided we'll be known as India and Bharat both. So there is no debate out of it. And a job was given in 1949 to our ancestors. They had done a great job. And now, since now I am in power, this is a batch of 2023, we feel we need to change the name because it is politically correct, because some other person who's in opposition have decided that we'll use our name India. So this is laughable.
Right, Manasi. You're right. When it comes to the name, once again, what's wrong with the name? The point that you are making, I agree to it. let's hear it also from Professor Chambi Puranik, who joins us. Professor Puranik, now if we once again referring back to the ancient times, if I may say so, as far as the time when India had not been known by any other name, India, Bharat. That was not the debate at that time. Upanishads and the great ancient books, Mahabharata too at times, as I have been reading about it, mentioned Bharat in some way or the other. Vishnu Puran mentioned it, Brahma Puran mentioned it. Talking about the mention of Puranas, what we are showing on the screen also, the significance of the name and the modern aspect of it, is there any conflict, or is a conflict bound to happen when we talk about a term, a name from age-old traditions to the modern times?
Well, first of all, I feel really, sad that people are making controversy out of nothing, from small issue like this. But as a teacher, I have been teaching for the last 40 years. Now that we are discussing whether India should be known as Bharat or India like that, I think this controversy itself is very superfluous, because the historical context which you mentioned, and also the spirit of the Constituent Assembly debates that we have gone through, and also people who have participated, how to name India, the nomenclature. I think, there is nothing wrong in calling India as Bharat or Bharat as India. I have been teaching. And in every teaching, we have always included the roots of our country and the kind of tradition that we have inherited. And, for example, other than English, when you speak about India, we say Bharat, Bharat Mata Ki Jai, we say. And also, I think it's such a commonly accepted thing, Instead of calling father, we call him Pitru. That doesn't mean that we are insulting fatherhood or the kind of, family head being called as father. So I think, this, as you mentioned, that political mileage, especially the new alliance, India alliance, they want to make use of this. Second thing is, Mr. Rahul Gandhi's Bharat Jodo Yatra. What is it? What does it mean? Throughout India, he has called it as Bharat Jodo Yatra. Only now he says India Jodega. They have understood that there is likelihood of India also being called as Bharat officially also. I think, that should be, this is the time now to just rule out all such irrelevant and very superficial, inconsequential controversies permanently forever. I think India, that is Bharat. I think both should be used, as we have been using in the debates and lectures in our classrooms and all that. I think, everybody will be proud. There is nothing, mean or low kind of perception or estimation of our country's pride and all that. India that is Bharat. So I think, that particular context, I don't mind President calling India as Bharat, and President of India, Bharat President. He has invited. There is nothing wrong. G20 will be very happy. They are going to see the cultural and heritage traditions of India in their visit, and also they are all appreciating. India is appreciated not only because of its present growth or in terms of science and technology, but also our past. I think, whenever our past is related or cited, that is going to be Bharat only, not India. India is a recent kind of nomenclature the British have given. And historically, many things have happened. We call Bengaluru now, instead of calling Bangalore, the Chennai, Madras, they call it as Chennai now. Then why do you call Chennai? What is the meaning of Chennai? They have a tradition of Tamil culture, heritage and all that.